Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today is my guy Ian Cameron, as usually is on Tuesdays. Big Tuesday for you, Ian. I know that your playoff hockey mode is in full effect, and I'm sure you're a busy man during these times.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of shows for the Ice Guys hockey show and Betcast for that tonight. But exciting time of year. We were saying before the show, maybe Boston sports fans wish the Bruins played tonight instead of last night. Take their mind off maybe another bad outing from Chris Sale tonight, possibly in that game. Although the Celtics do play tonight, so actually there is something that will distract them.
Yeah, that will be nice. Thank God for the Celtics, and thank God for betting on baseball because it's going to be a fun time. To talk about all these games. I've struggled so far this season. We're going to start turning it around here. I can feel the momentum, the momentum shifting as I choke in almost saying that. It's just hilarious to say. I was on the wrong end of 3-1 nothings last time we spoke. I wasn't here yesterday because I was taking all my siblings to the airport. But now all my siblings are gone. It's time to focus on the baseball. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun talking about these games. Bobano.
Now the issues are really come out to play as to why you've struggled to start the season.
Yeah. Now I'll figure out.
Siblings were the issue. Clearly, it was nothing to do with your technique or your form or your process. No, it was the siblings.
Thank you. Finally, Bobano. Finally, you're on the same level as me.
Truth comes out, right?
Yes. Here we go. Now we'll figure it out once and for all. Is it the fact that I bet on the Red Sox every day? Huh? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's get into it. Giants versus the Marlins. First game on our slate, Alex Wood versus Edward Cabrera here, -110s each way. 8.5 is the total here. A tough game here because I kind of like Edward Cabrera here, honestly. And the Miami Marlins offense hitting those lefties at a 9th clip right now in the league. 114 weighted runs created plus, so 14% above average there. The Giants just hit righties extremely well, shockingly enough. Second in the league, weighted runs created plus-wise, 130. I'm always shocked to see that when I pull it up. I'm like, wow, they're just really hitting righties and maybe just going under the radar, but I just don't hear much about it. So I passed on this game. I leaned over 8, bumped up to the 8.5. So we'll see how it goes here. But I like Edward Cabrera, and maybe I'd lean Marlins first 5 here somehow, some way. But I'm worried about him against a good lineup here.
Yeah, I mean, these are small bets for me on this game, but I've got actually 1, 2, 3. I've got the Marlins first 5 full game split, and I've got the over at 8.5. I got 8 -120. Even at 8.5, I endorse it. The Marlins have been mashing lefties, and I don't know if we expected this, but so far that's what they've done. Alex Wood's been having some issues with hard hit rate, being a little too high early in the season. So he's been leaving the ball up in the zone a little bit, been paying the price for it. So Miami with that profile of hitting lefties well, Wood's hard hit rate, contact rate up a bit this season. I think that could mean Miami scores some runs here. And I like them early, and I split it up because the bullpen used a lot of their key arms last night, closing out the 4-3 win against San Francisco. And I was on the Marlins last night with our guy Jesus Luzardo last night pitching for them. So going back to the well with the Marlins here tonight, first 5 full game split, but also the over because that Marlins bullpen does scare me a little bit tonight because they used all their premium arms last night in the game. Plus, I also think with Cabrera, he does sometimes have walk issues. So the over is kind of like that protection in case he has more of those tonight. So Marlins first 5 full game as well as full game over.
Beautiful there. By the way, don't look now. Phillies bettors up 5-0 just like 3 minutes ago. Now 5-4.
We're in good shape there, Jose, with over 8 in that Phillies White Sox game. So keep it coming.
Yep. 5-4, bottom of the third, no outs. Scored all these runs in this inning. So tough start there for the second go around for Zach Wheeler. Let's move on here. An interesting game. Tampa Bay Rays, Reds here. The Reds taking the game 1 against the Rays, and maybe we're starting to see I guess, regression, whatever, you were coming back to the mean after that big, long winning streak for the Rays. Maybe they come back, start losing some games here. It's a tough matchup here against, obviously, a good lefty and Nick Lodolo. But, they've just hit everyone so far, so all their numbers are pretty inflated. They're third right now, 143 weighted runs created plus against lefties. Taj Bradley pitched okay against the Red Sox. I was pretty impressed. They can maybe left him out there a little bit too long, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. But overall, I passed this game. I was like, all right, well, I'm leaning Rays at least, but I just kind of worry some backing or going against Nick Lodolo here when I have a higher amount of respect for him, especially at home here. So I'll pass and watch this game. He's been, and I've been, I changed up a little bit how I was looking at the caps. I wrote down, or there's this website that gives you the what price the pitchers were in their last outing. So I've been interested in seeing he's won 2 of his 3 starts this year as a team as well. So I passed on him, and we'll see how it goes here, but pass.
Yeah, I like Nick Lodolo here. I've got a couple small bets on the Reds' first 5 full game split, but I put more on the strikeout prop because Bradley to me is kind of an unknown, and he did look all right, decent in his start against Boston. We'll see how he fares here in this start against the Reds. But yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay is not a team I'm rushing to bet right now. I mean, we knew that at some point they were going to come back to the pack a little bit. I know that was an incredible start, and they're still a good baseball team, but they're going to have some struggles. They're going to have a little bit of a downturn, and they're in one right now. They lost the series against Toronto, their first 2 losses of the season, and they followed it up with the loss to Cincy in the opener. And I like Lodolo. I believe he's got great swing and miss ability. The K rate is outstanding. The swinging strike rate's right up there. That's what you want. You want someone that can get swings and misses, especially against a lineup that historically is pretty patient, like the Tampa Bay Rays. So I'm on Lodolo and the Reds' first 5 full game split, but greater amount of the overall look for me on Cincy is on the strikeout prop here for Lodolo, because the strikeout props have been a go-to for me here early in the season with this guy. You're still getting, a decent number as far as the strikeout prop for Lodolo tonight as well at 5.5 at minus 155. So that's what I'm on there. And I like the strikeout prop more than anything.
Okay, beautiful. No, let's move on here. Brisk Bay, shout out to everyone joining us today on a lovely edition of Say Hey Plays. Angels, Yankees, fun matchup here. Ohtani going to the Bronx, Mike Trout going to the Bronx. We remember Ohtani pitching there last time had struggled, so we'll keep an eye if he does get a start in this series there. But today we've got Jose Suarez versus Clark Schmidt, just 2 pitchers I'd never want to back here. And what's interesting, Bobano, both squads right now are struggling against each side. The Yankees are 26 right now against lefties, 72 weighted runs created plus. The Angels are 23rd against righties right now, 89 weighted runs created plus. So I probably pass here, but I do lean over, even though these offenses have been struggling. Maybe these pitchers are just kind of that remedy. They're bad enough that they can just chunk some balls down the middle, and especially in Yankee Stadium can go over. But this is an easy pass here for me. I do have 5 plays here official on the show so far, but they'll come up in the games as we go along here. But an easy pass here as well.
Yeah, for me, I have Yankees minus. I just went full game money line on the Yankees at minus 148, and the reason for that is because I want the Angels bullpen to be part of the fade. The Angels have not corrected their bullpen issues. We've been talking about this bullpen for it feels like a decade now, how much it stinks, how awful it is, and we're seeing signs of it again here early in the season. They had issues in the Boston series as well, and the Yankees should have the edge there. So I like Yankees minus 148 at Pinnacle. Not the best price, but I think they win this game. Schmidt, I trust more. I'm not a big Jose Suarez guy. I've noted that multiple times. I don't think he's anything spectacular. He can give up the home run ball. He can give up a lot of hard contact. That's trouble in this ballpark against this lineup. So I also like the over. I'm with you there on your lean toward over 9 in this game as well. So for me, that's the 2 looks. Yankees money line over 9 minus 120 when I got it.
All right, beautiful. Next game, Baltimore Orioles, Washington Nationals. Shout out to my guy, Josiah Gray, because his pitching line so far this year, he's pitched well, but just has lost every start. Last outing, he went to at the Angels, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a plus 250 dog, loses 2-0. Before that, at Colorado, 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, plus 150 dog, lose 1-0. And then his first start of the year against the Braves gets touched up, crushed, 5 earned runs. Unfortunately for him, I think today's the day he gets crushed again because home road splits from last year. Home a 6.12 ERA. On the road, a 4.11 ERA. His first opening day start at home against the Braves. Obviously, a good lineup. So, getting touched up against the Braves, not a big deal in my head, but he does keep up that trend. I think the Orioles are a really good lineup. I think they're just really, really impressive. So I took Orioles team total over 4.5 here, -125 for me.
Yeah, I did not bet this game. This is actually one of the I don't have many passes on the card usually, but this is one of them. I'm not stepping in front of Baltimore. I've stepped in front of Baltimore a couple of times, and it hasn't gone well. And I like Josiah Gray more than some people do, but not at home. For some reason at Nationals Park, he struggled there. I prefer him on the road, quite honestly, and the numbers bear that out. He's been better away from Nationals Park here in the capital. So really, I think Baltimore probably does win this game. But then again, Dean Kramer in that 9.6 ERA, and I figured this is a guy I'm not rushing to back because I don't think he's going to duplicate what he did last year, and so far it's looking like that. So, maybe we do see runs here in this game. The reason I did not bet the over, the respect I have for Gray, but I will admit he's been rougher at home than on the road, so that over could still get there because I do see Washington getting to Kramer a little bit as well.
Yeah, I've backed Gray a lot this season, and I probably will continue to do so, but it just spots, definitely not going to do it at home. And Dean Kramer, while, for his last start was against the A's, getting touched up there is pretty embarrassing. His other two starts against the Yankees and Red Sox, not really a surprise he gets touched up by his AL East opponents there with a lot of knowledge. So I'm
being said, Washington's not a great lineup.
Exactly.
No, it's like we're talking bottom of the barrel offense in Major League Baseball. So that's another reason why I'm off this game entirely, including the over, because I could also see Kramer 2 runs in 6 innings, something pretty solid against a feeble lineup.
Yeah, I agreed. I think he can pitch well. They're 29th against righties, but I don't want to pay. I don't want to put my money on that. I'll just take the Orioles lineup and to get to Josiah Gray and whoever else comes into this game. Next game up, the Minnesota Twins versus the Boston Red Sox. Chris Sale, the aforementioned, versus Sonny Gray here. Sonny Gray, by the way, 2-0, and Chris Sale 1-1. Interesting notes here. Sonny Gray does not pitch well in Boston. We talked about it earlier in the day with betting with the bag, or I should say with Loshak in the bag. I know it's been a while since he's pitched in Boston, and I know last year pitched at 1 2/3, pitched poorly but got hurt during the start, so maybe that's a reason why he pitches poorly. But I just think he ends up pitching poorly again here today. I also, have to, be resigned to the fact that Chris Sale has the highest ERA of any qualified starter right now. So I took the first 5 over here, Bobano. First 5 over 4.5 for me. I know the number has dropped down too, as a 9, went down to 8.5. So that makes me feel a little shittier. But first 5 over 4.5 -110 for me was my play here. What do you think?
Right after Patrick Corbin, Chris Sale Day has become a thing for me in Major League Baseball this season. I see Chris Sale's name on the marquee starting that upcoming night. My eyes light up because I know I've got a chance to fade someone that I think is done. I mean, I'm going to keep this brief. I think Chris Sale's shot. I think he's done. I think he's finished. And I think he's going to continue to struggle because we just haven't seen. It does hurt, but let's call it like we see it. This guy's been through the ringer. He's had all kinds of injuries. He's now an older pitcher, and I don't think he's got anything left. Simple. And there's nothing I see that indicates otherwise right now. So this is Minnesota first 5, Minnesota full game, Minnesota team total over 4.5 for me. This is also a first 5 and full game over for the game. So I've got a lot going on. Now, it's not like one unit each bet. It's downsizing because you've got like 5 different bets. So it's about a quarter unit on each. But yeah, Minnesota first 5, Minnesota full game, Minnesota team total over 4.5, first 5 over 4.5, first full game over 8.5. There you go.
Yeah, well, I'm right there with you. So first 5 over 4.5.
I think Gray can shut them down, maybe, because he's been great so far this year. But I also am aware, like you said, of that bad history that he's had at Fenway Park. And if that comes to fruition, that's why I want the first 5 full game over for the game on my side as well.
Interesting note, Sonny Gray has pitched well, like you mentioned. All of his games low scoring, 3-1 win, 3-2 win, 2-0 win. Very interesting. And also weird that, he was against the White Sox, against the Astros, against the Royals. This is the biggest dog spot he's had all year. shockingly enough. So maybe that's another interesting note there. But keep your eyes out for these Twins here. I do think they end up winning this game, but I don't want to trifle with the Red Sox bullpen, which I actually think is pretty good. All right, next game on our slate, the second half of the doubleheader going on right now that we just mentioned, the Phillies versus the White Sox. We're getting Bailey Falter versus Lucas Giolito. Obviously, kind of tough to cap while this game is going right now. But I obviously do fade Lucas Giolito on most occasions. Bailey Falter being a lefty against a White Sox team that we know it wasn't so much last year because they were just so shitty, but past like 3-4 years have hit lefties really well. They're hitting them well this year right now. 137 weighted runs created plus, only 106 at bats, but I still think that big track record of them hitting lefties is very helpful. So I lean towards the first 5 over here as well, but I have not moved on this one here. Bobana, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the full game. Well, I've already got the full game over a winner already in game 1 of this doubleheader. It's already 5-4. So, and I actually bet the over here too, because it's just 2 pitchers I'm not overly enamored with. The total's only 8.5. Now, the problem is a lot of these times, the one concern, and I've seen this play out before, over in the first game of a doubleheader, second game goes under, and vice versa. First game goes under, second game. There's a lot of instances I've seen that. So if you buy into that pattern where bet the opposite of what happened in the first game of the doubleheader, then you want the under. But to me, matchup-wise, it's an over matchup because I don't love either of these pitchers. I think both lineups are fully capable. It's a nice, pleasant night in Chicago. So I'm going to bet another over here with these two, just like I did in game 1.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window with it, but all the numbers make sense. It's just the fact that it's the second half of a doubleheader is scaring me. So I'll consider it as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat, like we mentioned, Professor Chris, Roger That 215, Dabby Cab joining us, Rocco Rogers, Cheshire Cat, Eric Jones, all you guys, we appreciate it. Lucas Ryan, keep hitting that like button. Markel, Justin McIvy, we appreciate it. Hit the like button while you guys are here. Mr. Heat, nice to see you. And let's hopefully get some cash today. We're climbing out of a hole here. This is not something we haven't done before, so we're going to keep pushing our way up and out. Next game, Royals Rangers here. Old friend Nathan Eovaldi versus Brad Helling-Keller, who Brad has been pitching really well this year. He's been pitching really well this year for his standards. Has won his last 2 starts, a 10-1 win versus the Texas Rangers at home, and then a 3
that beer weight's not holding them back this year.
No, of course not. Of course not. It looks good. It makes them looking good too. But at the Rangers, a 10-1 win. At the Giants, a 3-1 win. Lost his first start, which wasn't even his fault, really. A 2-run performance in 4 2/3 against the Twins. Against Nathan Eovaldi here in a bounce back, or I should say back-to-back, as both these guys faced off earlier in the week. I tend to pass these kind of games. I usually think that the opposite happens in the starts. So Brad Keller wouldn't be surprised he ended up struggling a bit more this start, while Nathan Eovaldi pitches better and bounces back here against a Royals lineup that we know is not the best. They're 30th right now against righties. And a Rangers lineup, which is pretty impressive still. No Corey Seager, but I mean, still rocking and rolling. They're still 11th against righties, 105 weighted runs created plus. I ended up passing on this game, but I definitely wouldn't hate if you took like a Rangers -1 at a decent price.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Royals in the first 5, but obviously the bullpen's not good at all for the Kansas City Royals, so you got to try to keep it to that. But yeah, I'm buying in a little bit. Brad Keller, what he's done, he's been solid. He's been arguably one of the best pitchers so far this season for the Royals. So I've been impressed, and I haven't been impressed with Eovaldi here, which is not Eovaldi, by the way, as you see on the marquee. But yeah, Eovaldi for Texas hasn't been great here this season so far. Problem is, here's another lineup. You just don't know what you're going to get. And during this, 4 or 5 game losing streak, I think it's a 4-game losing streak they're on. They haven't been hitting Kansas City. So that's the problem, right? You could trust Keller and then not get the offense and the support that he needs, the run support to go with it. But nevertheless, I am going to take a small shot here. Royals +110 in the first 5.
Beautiful there. A little Royals spot. A lot of people around Pub Sports Radio like the Royals too. It's funny. Jeff was on their win total over last year. Jimmy's on it this year. Obviously, you're on them today. It's just a popular squad amongst the
And they got shut out last night. Texas was just dominant in control. So not a bad, again, you're talking about a bad team trying to bounce back, but bounce back spot nevertheless.
It's fair. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Next game, and shout out to everyone. Like we mentioned, we're keeping a brisk pace here, but we
I apologize. Usually I like to go into more detail, but yeah, we got a tight schedule today for yours truly.
You're a busy man. We get it. It's okay. Diamondbacks, Cardinals, next game on our slate. A fun game. I'm really excited watching this game because obviously the Diamondbacks are in the first place of their division. Cardinals are supposed to be really good, and they're struggling right now. So it's just a good matchup here. And I really enjoy, and shockingly enough, I did not think I was going to be saying this about Jordan Montgomery, but I really enjoy both these pitchers. Drake Jamieson is one of those young pitchers that was kind of shorter, so people didn't like him as much, but now short pitchers that are in now. Shout out to Spencer Strider. Drake Jamieson, I bet him in his first start. Has pitched dominantly and out of the bullpen, but that start, 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, and a 7-3 win against the Milwaukee Brewers, a first-place Milwaukee Brewers team as well. Jordan Montgomery pitching well, too. I can say a 6 1/3, 6 innings, or 6-hit, 2 earned run start against the Pirates is pretty impressive now because the Pirates have been hitting pretty well. They know the Cardinals lost that game as a -265 favorite against the Pirates that day when he started, but I still like Jordan Montgomery. I bet the first 500 here, 4.5 -125 here. A little juicy is my card, but I think just obviously both these offenses can be stifled. I'll be interested to see how the Cardinals offense faces off against Drake Jamieson because they're 12th right now, 104 weighted runs created plus against righties, while the Arizona Diamondbacks are 22nd, 85 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So to first 500 here from you, Bobana. What do you think?
Yeah, this is definitely one I could point to the under. St. Louis's offense has cooled off. Arizona's, and by the way, it is not always trustworthy. Plus, they're both these lineups are going against their weaker split here in the game tonight. St. Louis is better against lefties. Arizona's better against righties, and unfortunately, Arizona's facing a lefty where they're not as good, and St. Louis is facing a righty, where they're not as good. So it definitely makes sense, and both pitchers in good form to start the year. I'm also going to take a small shot because I just think even Montgomery's pitching well, but I think this price is a little high right now with what I'm seeing on St. Louis. They're 7-10. They've fallen below 500, and now they're being put out there like there's some juggernaut right now. And I know in the first couple games of the season, they look great, but it's been a rough go for them. And the lineup's cooled off. Bullpen's been very spotty. Jordan Hicks is just a disaster. I mean, that guy was looking like a great reliever at one point, not anymore. I mean, I just think that's up there now, -170. So just strictly value play. I put a few shekels on Arizona in the first 5 full game at the plus price.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
this Jameson kid.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there, too. Side is absolutely the Cardinals, or it's not the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks here. It's funny. I always mix up when I say Arizona, I always say Cardinals because of the fucking NFL team. And now here they are facing off. And it's just a perfect dichotomy of me getting fucked up with these names. But I like this first 500. I think it's going to be a good matchup here. I can't wait to watch. Toronto versus the Astros here. What a game yesterday. Just Gausman getting destroyed immediately was not what I had in my record books going out there. So I'll be interested to see the response here from Chris Bassett, who I have not liked this year. He pitched well last time out against a shitty Tigers team, but I do kind of expect the Astros to get after him here. It was just -110 earlier today. It's moved to -120-ish, -118 on Bovada. Jose Urquidy coming off a really good start. I would probably lean towards the over here. I like Jose Urquidy. I think he's a good pitcher, but against this Toronto Blue Jays offense, we'll see here. And I think this Astros lineup, bad as it is without Jose Altuve, they still have 2 of the best hitters in baseball, in Tucker and Yordan. And I think Bassett's just not that good. So I haven't made this official yet, but I definitely lean towards the over as well here.
Yep, you got it. Over. That's what I'm on here. Over 9 -110. I mean, Bassett was good last time out, but now he's back and he's away from Toronto now. He's back in on the road where he got shelled in his first start against St. Louis. He actually was good against the Angels, I actually thought. He had that rough first inning, and then he kind of settled in there, minimized the damage, but he's still not someone like every metric and stat from Bassett this year compared to last year is worse. Swing strike rate up, walk rate up, home run rate way up compared to where this is not a guy that gave up a shit ton of home runs last year with the Mets and before that with Oakland. He's given up the long ball a lot more so far this year. So all his numbers are worse here early in the 2023 season. 6.49 xFIP. That's awful for Bassett. But I think Urquidy could get hit a little bit here. I mean, his numbers early this season are down a little bit from last year, especially the advanced numbers, xFIP, FIP, BABIP, all those key metrics. They're not as good early in the season for Urquidy in his first few starts for the Astros. So, and the Jays, getting embarrassed yesterday. You'd think the lineup in particular looking to do a little bit more damage, which I think they are capable of doing in this game here. But I actually kind of like the bounce back spot for the Jays, but I just don't trust it. And I don't think you're getting a good enough price. Like it's like minus 102 with the Blue Jays on the road in Houston against the defending World Series champions. It doesn't seem like value to me. So I'm off that side, but I do like this game to go over the total.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Shout out to Rem Most. I've got to pass these games. I lean over, trying to limit the volume, Rem Most a little bit. But I do like the overs here while Bobana moves on every game and every.
What can I say? I'm an over guy. You know what? And it's been a good time of year to be betting overs in Major League Baseball. Yeah,
especially people think the ball's juice like me. So yeah, I agree with you there. So I hate betting unders right now. So. Yeah. Right there with you, Bobano. Next game, Rockies Pirates here.
If you don't like me liking so many overs, turn this game off. Turn this.
Yeah, because this is over city here. Then they put it at 13 because they don't want us to bet the over in this one. I know that for a fact. Jose Urena versus Vince Velasquez. Vince Velasquez, who pulled a great start out of his ass last time out against the Cardinals. Please do that again. I'd love to see that. I was on the wrong side of that one, but. I'm not going to back him here. I'm not going to back Jose Urena. If anything, I'm on the over here again, but I'm passing here. I would like to bet a team total on one of these guys, but it just 13 just makes them too high. So just over or pass here again.
Yeah, I am worried a little bit that at some point this is getting too rich. I mean, we're talking 13 now. It is Coors Field though. And as we saw, and I was on the over last night in the first game of this series between the Pirates and the Rockies. And, a big part of it was you've got this ballpark and two pitchers I flat out don't like. And that's exactly what pretty much we have here. Old Vinny Velasquez, you trust that guy to hold up at Coors Field? Good luck. And Jose Urena, him and Patrick Corbin, it's them in the championship match for the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball right now, as far as I'm concerned. You can give it to either guy. There's valid arguments to make for both of them.
Thanks for not including Chris Sale in there, making it a fatal three-way there.
Yeah, he's not there yet, but he's he's bottom 10 right now, but he's not at that level. If he gets lit up tonight again, though, yeah, he's going to be falling closer to the Urena Corbin pit of hell. But we'll have to wait and see if that indeed happens. But Urena is awful. Just I can't even believe and it tells you about the state of the Rockies' depth in their starting rotation, that they still have to trot this guy out there every 5 days. So yeah, I like the over here still at 12.5 up to 13. I mean, you could say it's getting too rich, but look, last night 17 runs. Between these two teams. And I didn't like Hill and I didn't like Freeland. And Freeland's never struggled a lot at home. And Rich Hill, actually didn't pitch that bad, to be quite honest. But here we got the same thing. It's basically two pitchers in a ballpark I don't trust them in. So, yeah, back to the over it is.
Beautiful. All right, moving on here to a game that I actually have action on for my guy, Rem Most. Cubs, Oakland A's here, my say hey play of the day. Felt juicy today when I woke up, Ian, today. I just felt like drinking all the juice this morning. I just tried not to make this complicated. Cubs first 5 -0.5. I got it at -130. Not my favorite price, but whatever. I think the A's are obviously and clearly the worst team in baseball. It's not particularly close. While Marcus Stroman, though I don't like him, is a really good pitcher. And I'll just make it easy here. The Cubs hit lefties really well. Waldicuck, as our friend Sharpie likes to call him, is not very good. So just an easy Cub spot for me here. Come out and prove that you can pitch against these Cubs, Waldichuk. So pass, or not pass, but Cubs here for me. I'm used to saying pass. Shout out to Ramos, I guess. But Bobana, what do you think?
Yeah, Cubs first 5, -0.5, -118. Cubs -1, full game run line -148 for me as well. And I'm going to jump in on that Cubs team total, over 4.5, -102 as well, with the wind blowing out a little bit apparently tonight in Oakland. Yeah, Waldichuk has not been good. I mean, at all here. This lefty has struggled. 10 ERA for the Athletics early this season. And Stroman's been the polar opposite. He's been lights out. He's been magnificent. Now, there is some signs that he's going to regress a little bit, Stroman. Like he's not going to pitch to a 1 ERA all season. But this is not a lineup I worry about the regression monster hitting him, because this is an Oakland lineup that we know is definitely not. Yeah, anything Patrick Wisdom, Cheshire Cat. That's right. I haven't bet a ton of props today, but total bases and home run prop, you have to bet it with Patrick Wisdom for the Cubs right now. He is just mashing the baseball for the Chicago Cubs. It started in the Dodger series. It's continued last night in the first game against Oakland. Yeah, he's on a heater is right. So I fully endorse the player props, the TBs, total bases, and the home run prop for him. So yeah, Cubs first 5 run line, full game run line, and a little on that team total as well, over 4.5.
All right, everyone on the Cubs, I love to hear that. So let's all cash with some Cubs here today. James Esch, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a fun one here in Oakland with like 6 people present. I saw, by the way, just a random note, I saw the crowd in Cincinnati for Rays Reds yesterday. It was like 6 people there in the entire stadium. It was one of the funniest sights I've ever seen. I was like, you just run around the outfield, just no one's there. So shout out to them, man. I don't know how the Reds fans do it, but shout out to you guys. Milwaukee Brewers, Seattle Mariners, next game up. Colin Rea making our second appearance here, and I will praise him for having a good start against the Padres. 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run. But I will say, kind of just like how pitchers, or I should say defensive coordinators, need to prepare for quarterbacks in the NFL, the hitters kind of need to prepare for pitchers. And I don't know how long the Padres knew that he was a pitcher, because it was kind of yanked around all day. It was like, oh, at one point it's going to be like Brandon Woodruff. It's like, nope, it's going to be Bryce Wilson. No, it's actually going to be this guy. So I think that has a factor in it. I'll be interested to see if he can do it again. I don't think he can. I like my guy Logan Gilbert a lot here, so it'd be probably another first 5 -0.5 or full game -1 look if you can get a decent look price here. But shout out to my guy Rem Most. I'm gonna just Rem pass it. I'm gonna give it a Rem Most stamp. I might call passes. This is a Rem Most here for me, so pass for me here. What do you think?
Yeah, I love this spot for Seattle. A better team still, which I think the Mariners are. Better spot off getting blasted last night. Chris Flexen didn't have it in that game for the Mariners last night. They've got one of their better premium arms, Logan Gilbert, on the mound, who's pitched well so far this season. Colin Rea actually didn't pitch that badly last time we saw him, but still, I mean, as a starting pitcher, we got to see more. And I think the Mariners, after losing last night, they're going to end up having a much better approach at the plate for that entire lineup, a bounce back type of night. So, yeah, I think I sent you my card. I must have done that earlier when I sent it out to everybody, because you're reading what I'm exactly on here with this game. I'm on the first 5 and the full game run line split here with Seattle. Seattle -0.5, -110 first 5, and Seattle -1, -110 full game run line.
Beautiful. Well, this is good. This makes me feel better about my card a little bit. So hopefully I'm seeing the board well now. After, obviously, like we mentioned, I got the distractions out. Boban, it was obviously not my capping. It was my siblings being in town.
Yeah, that's right. Now you're going to go on a heater now.
Yes, here we go. We figured it out. Thank you. This is great.
You're distracting him. You're ruining his capping abilities
guys.
right now. Get out. Yeah.
Goodness, this is great. Atlanta Braves, San Diego Padres, a great matchup. Could be at our NLCS. Blake Snell versus Spencer Strider. Easy. I mean, I don't want to back Blake Snell under any circumstances. I've not been a Blake Snell guy for a little bit now. Braves -1. You can get it at -104 using the run line calculator. Spencer Strider, people like to say he's struggling, I guess. I don't know who. I might see Sharpie mentioning it, but I'll take 5 innings, 3 earned runs every time from most starters. That I understand he's not the same guy, whatever, but I think he's going to bounce back and be perfectly okay. It's still early in the season. And I know this Padres lineup is very good, but I just think that at the end of the day, give me the Braves here. They're fifth against lefties, 136 weighted runs created plus. The other side, the Padres are 17th against righties, 98 weighted runs created plus. So I'll take my Braves here, -1.
Braves first 5, Braves first full game. I went money line because the prices weren't that bad. I had -140 first 5 money line, -132 full game money line for the Atlanta Braves. So I'm on both. I'm a Spencer Strider fan still, even though he's had a couple little bumps in the road here early, and they say he'll be fine. He's a good pitcher. He'll be fine. 3.38 ERA. I know the last start against the Reds, 3 runs, 4 hits, but the strikeouts are there. I think he's walked a couple more batters than you'd think, but he can get swings and misses. He has 9 strikeouts in each of the first 3 starts. I'm also on the Strider strikeout prop for the Braves tonight. Like I say, 9 strikeouts for Strider in each of his first 3 starts this season. A premium swing and miss pitcher. Can absolutely get you to wave and miss at all his pitches, and it's 8.5 at plus money, +114, and +115 at BetMGM for that over 8.5 strikeouts. And this is a guy that's gotten you 9, in each of his 3 starts. So I like the strikeout prop, and I'm on Atlanta first 5 money line, full game money line. And you're right, Atlanta hits lefties. San Diego isn't hitting righties great. That plays into the role. And how about these road warrior Braves? 9-1 on the road this year, 7 straight road wins as well for Atlanta coming into tonight. And I was on Atlanta in the opener last night in this series as well, backing them over the Padres. And I'm with Max Fried returning to the rotation over Weathers. That cashed in. I had the -1. They won by 2-0. I think they'll score a little bit more tonight. So for me, I'm going to go with first 5 full game money line split Atlanta.
Beautiful there. And the one voice in the wind, Earl Sports Bets on the Padres saying Strider regression this season. So we'll see if that
if this was 2017, Snell's getting this price and the form he was in at the time, you'd be unloading on San Diego +120.
Yeah, but no thanks. I'll pass. I'm all set on the Blake Snell experience as well. Last game on our card here, and Bobano, I've been looking at this game for a long time. I didn't make it official, but I really like the Mets here tonight. First 5 full game, whichever way you want them. But I like Miguel. I've been a fan of Miguel since last year. Fortunately, got hurt. His velocity went up like a crazy amount. Was throwing 100 and stuff. His shoulder gets hurt. Then he comes back. It's 3-0 so far. I've just been impressed by all of his starts. I like him a lot. Obviously, Kershaw is who he is. Pitched okay against the Giants, a Giants team that hits him historically. Struggled against the Diamondbacks in the second half of a back-to-back, so I can kind of forgive him there. But I really like the Mets in this spot. They're hitting lefties okay this year, 10th, 112 weighted runs created plus. Going against the Dodgers in any kind of capacity is scary. So I haven't made this official yet, but I like the Mets here. First 5 full game, like I mentioned, whichever way. I think they can win this game.
So, wow, this is really something. Either you're going to drag me down with you, or I'm going to pull you up to where I am tonight, because we're on the same page again here. I mean, I think it's a live dog with the New York Mets here. I'm hoping it's the latter. I'm going to pull you up and get you going here, because we're on a lot of the same train of thought here with the card tonight. But, I like the Mets here, first 5 full game split. And, it's never easy to go against Kershaw, but we didn't see Kershaw at his best the last time he took the bump. For the LA Dodgers. We'll see if he can rebound from that outing. But before that, he was pitching quite well. But last couple, in fact, the Giant game was kind of erratic. And then the Arizona game, he kind of struggled with the 4 runs allowed, 7 hits. Always capable. He does have a very good track record against the Mets. Enters this one on a 7-1 run in his last 8 starts against the Mets. Pitched pretty well against them last year. Gave up just 1 run, 1 hit in 5 innings. But I like Tyler Megill. I mean, I have backed him, I believe, in the last couple starts. He's 3-0. Or the Mets, I should say, are 3-0 in his 3 starts this year. He's given up just 4 runs over 16 innings of work. That's very impressive. I think he can go into Dodger Stadium here tonight, even against the mighty Clayton Kershaw, and give the Dodgers, some fits, and give the Mets a chance to win this game and keep them in it, give them a chance. And that's all you can ask for when you're getting an underdog price. So Mets first 5 full game split for me at an underdog price. The first 5 for me was +144, full game +145.
Wow. This is going to be a fun afternoon of baseball for all of us here. Let's recap our action here. I can't wait to watch all these games here, Bobano. And now, after you said you're going to bring us up, I'm going to add a bunch of plays now on my card that we both like here. It's going to be fun. I'll go first here. Hopefully, I can catch some other ads here after you go. But I'm going Cubs first 5 minus a half, minus 130. Boston, Minnesota first 5 over 4.5, minus 110. Baltimore team total over 4.5, minus 125. Atlanta minus 1, full game there, minus 104. I've took the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals, I should say, first 5 under 4.5, minus 125. And these are the ads here. Mets first 5 money line plus 130. Seattle first 5 minus a half, minus 120. And I'm going to take the full game over in Houston, Toronto over 9, minus 115 there. Bobano, what do you want?
All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Miami minus 104, first 5. Miami minus 106, full game. San Fran, Miami over 8, minus 125. Arizona plus 142, first 5. Arizona plus 150, full game. Pittsburgh, Colorado over 12.5, minus 125, full game. I still like it at 13. Atlanta minus 140, first 5. Atlanta minus 132, full game. New York Mets plus 144, first 5. New York Mets plus 145, full game. Yankees minus 148, full game. Angels, Yankees over 9, minus 116, full game. Minnesota minus 110, first 5. Minnesota minus 105, full game. Minnesota team total over 4.5, plus 102. Minnesota Boston over 4.5, minus 120, first 5. Minnesota Boston over 8.5, minus 115, full game. Kansas City plus 110, first 5. Toronto Houston over 9, minus 110. Cincy plus 100, first 5. Cincy plus 114, full game. Philly, Chicago White Sox over 8.5, full game. Seattle minus a half, minus 110, first 5. Seattle minus 1, minus 110, full game. Cubs minus a half, minus 118, first 5. Cubs minus 1, minus 148, full game. And Cubs team total over 4.5, minus 105. Up, you're muted.
There we go. I'm on my cab shit. There's my last ad there. Pirates, Rockies over 13. So yes, we have a lot of volume today. It is going to be a very interesting afternoon of baseball for sure. Bobana, where are you heading off to right now?
So that's what it's like. And that's what the season's been for me. It's been a high volume day after a high volume day. And a lot of days where it's been like a 0.2 unit profit here, 0.4 unit profit here. And it does add up over time. So that's the goal. Don't leave anything to chance. Don't ever have regrets. Don't say, oh, I should have bet that, and I didn't, because that's what had too much of early in my career, and that's when I adopted the high volume approach, and it's just what works best for me. But yeah, coming up, Jose on the channel. Of course, we've got it's actually Betting with the Bag. Will probably be the next show for me coming up on Friday with Jimmy the Bag. The schedule's lightening up now with the college basketball shows finished. The NBA show's finished. So, I'm going to be doing Betting with the Bag. I think I might be jumping on some of the live bet casts, maybe the Friday night one from time to time, the Sunday one that Jimmy the Bag's doing. So you can look for me there. But it's that time of year where we try to, lessen the load, if you will. I mean, it's a lot of shows I do September to March. So it's nice once we get into April, calm things down a little bit, get a little break. And certainly after all the shows I've done, I'm ready for one.
Beautiful. What about a vacation? But man, do you go on vacation?
Oh yeah. I'll be doing some travel. I don't know if it'll be like country to country travel, but I still might be going to Vegas over the summer. Although I might wait till the fall, but definitely at least to the cottage. Definitely in these parts, and you got to do some of that over the summer. Enjoy the tranquility, the peace. You need some of that.
I just imagining Bobano beachside somewhere. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. So there you go. Shout out to everyone that watches the program as always. High volume day. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got 9 plays. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be sweating my ass off now. I got to go make all these, put all these bets in now. Thanks everyone. Sweaty Butcher, Professor Chris, Gagnon, Just Jay, Big Show Picks, D Mills, Rem Most, Loopy, Abel A, All you guys, Benjamin Mills. Oh, wow. By the way, apparently Benjamin Mills saying Jeffrey Spring is Tommy John, done for the season. Jesus, that sucks for him.
That's a shame. Yep.
Loopy, let's go. Earl Sports Bets, Stacy King, Mr. Heat, Rocco, Remos, James S, TNT. Everyone, thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Nunya dropping his plays in here as well. We'll end with that. Don't forget to hit the like button, like we mentioned. Say hey to us on social media, guys. We'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays.